Greetings, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Michael. This is Strada Live. We're coming at you from Los Angeles, California. It's a beautiful day. I hope it's a great day wherever you are in the world. And I'm excited to go over a couple of things today. And we've got a special guest. And we're so excited to have Kyle Chappell joining us a little later. You're going to learn a lot about Kyle's workflow. You're going to learn a lot about him as a multi-hyphenate talent and how he's using Strada. And we're going to be doing it from a hotel room in Las Vegas, which is a very practical and real experience that we've all been in. Before we get to that, I want to thank and represent the team that we have here. We've got Austin, we've got Margot, we've got Shannon, and we've got my brother, Peter. We are available to answer your questions and to help you get feedback. Now, I have an iPad here. I can read your questions. I can see what you're sending me. So write questions on YouTube, write them on Instagram. We are happy to capture your feedback and be able to address them. In fact, I was talking to a colleague or a friend that I met on our Discord channel this morning about questions about permissions. And so because of that, I want to specifically work with Kyle in our demo to go over the permissions experience because we just launched permissions last week. So I'm going to come back to that in a little bit because this is part of what we just released. We now have multiple roles so that you can control who can see what. People often say, I don't want people to see my entire drives. I like this idea that Strada lets me connect my drives to other people, but I don't want them to see everything. Don't worry, we've solved that. You can invite people at the folder level with 4 different levels of permission. So it's very powerful, very granular. But before we get into that, I want to talk about what happened yesterday. Did anyone get affected by something about Amazon yesterday? Yeah, Amazon went down big time. And it went down in a time of day that actually didn't affect the United States all that much, but it really affected Europe and other parts of the world. Look, people often say, I don't want to. Sometimes people say, I'm not sure about Strada because I trust the cloud because it's so reliable. Since when? Like the cloud is not all that reliable all the time. Everything has its limitations. But I'm telling you, how often does your personal power go out? I believe that the power to my house and to my internet is goes off less often than AWS goes off. And when AWS goes off, everything's affected, right? The problem with what happened yesterday is not that just AWS goes down. They are connected to so many different things that all of them in a domino effect also go down. And it can take hours and hours and hours to restore all the services even after AWS is back. With peer-to-peer technology, that doesn't happen. In fact, yesterday, Strada worked fine because we are not storing media in a cloud. Most companies store them in a cloud, and most of them store them in AWS. So a lot of companies were affected in the media and entertainment space yesterday because their footage wasn't accessible. But with Strada, it was because we're accessing each other's drives. So it's important. I'm not trying to say that the cloud is all bad, and I'm not trying to say peer-to-peer is perfect. Neither of those are true. But the idea that the cloud is a perfectly always available and impenetrable resource for access isn't true. And it's important to remember that there are real situations when the cloud goes down, you're helpless. But with peer-to-peer, you can always find a hotspot. You can go to a neighbor's house or knock on the next door, or in Kyle's case, go to a hotel and plug it in. Like there's all these things you can do with peer-to-peer because you control the media. When AWS goes down, your media is completely disconnected from you. If your internet or power goes out, you have choices, right? Peer-to-peer has that advantage over cloud. You're in control of the media, and I could just pop on a hotspot on my phone if my internet were to go out for some reason, or if my power went out, all I got to do is get a drive to a place with power. In fact, I have a UPS battery backup system, and if the power goes out, I still can support multiple hours of access to the internet in my house using battery backups that are available at B&H or probably Home Depot. Anyway, these are all resources that you have to make peer-to-peer work, and I hope you think about that going forward. Now, 2 weeks ago, we launched iOS and Android. Strada is now available on mobile. I'm going to demo for that. I'm going to demo that for you today with Kyle. Remember, I'm in Los Angeles. Kyle's going to be on in a few minutes. He's in Las Vegas, and I'm going to be able to access his footage, not just from Las Vegas, but from Toronto on my phone. And we're going to show that in real time from scratch. We didn't invite each other to anything. It's going to happen live. But Strada is available on mobile. You should download it now. You should install it now. It's free. And at the very least, you can be on the go and you can have your phone and you can connect your phone to hard drives, especially when you're traveling. It's amazing. It's so simple. And that's actually available on our free plan, which shows like how terrible I am at sales. But like, our free plan allows you to connect your drives at home and view them on your phone and download emergency files, all for free to your phone, small files to your phone. All that's available for free. And I don't know anybody that's building a technology that allows me to simply have a mobile app on iOS and Android and connect to ProRes files 1,000 miles away. You show me an app that can do that as simply and quickly as Strada. If you sign up today, I'm telling you, you can get this working in about 2 minutes. It's pretty awesome. So that means we are on Mac and Windows and iOS and Android. And it's really something I'm super proud of our engineering team, because what we've been able to do is add surface area in ways that a lot of companies haven't. There were a lot of products that serve the creative community, and they're not on all 4 of these platforms. Strada is, and we are so new. We are young. We're like babies in the technology space. And yet we were able to will ourselves to building Mac, Windows, iOS, and Android because you asked for it. We listened to our customers, and I care about people on different platforms. I used to be an Android user. I've owned lots of Windows machines in my career, and I want to support the entire system. And this means you can actually transfer files from the desktop of a Mac to the desktop of a Windows machine automatically. It's almost like AirDrop from Mac to Windows, which doesn't exist in operating systems. So there's a lot of power inside of the Strada ecosystem if you just give it a try. Don't think today of Strada replacing a lot of products. Think of Strada today as a new tool in your tool belt of resources, and then you use it, and eventually you'll be able to see how we can replace other tools along the way. We are the first peer-to-peer collaboration platform for creative professionals. That's our goal. And we are using peer-to-peer to avoid cloud storage, cloud costs, and cloud uploads. And that's super exciting. All of these other products are great cloud products. I like them, but we're 100% faster because you don't have to upload to see anything. Strada lets you view files instantly without uploading. And I mean instantly. A 500 gigabyte file is instantly viewable 1,000 miles away without having to upload it. So it's 100% faster. We do not have cloud storage, so you don't have to figure out how many terabytes you need to buy in order to use Strada. We don't have that. So we're 100% less expensive with cloud costs, and we're 100% available. That means any drive you plug in, no matter how many years old it is accessible. With cloud, you tend to only upload files that you're working on in the moment. People don't tend to have 10 years of original camera files in clouds. They don't do that. But people might have a drive with original camera files from 10 years ago. With Strada, all of that media is accessible just by plugging in a drive, and you don't have to worry about what you put up there. Okay, before I get to Kyle, I want to go into some roles and permissions here. Now, we just released this last week, and we had someone on Discord today ask about it. I think it was Camille. I'm sorry if I forgot your name or I'm saying it wrong, Camille. I hope you're watching. But this is what I wanted to go over. Strada has 5 levels of permissions, and I just want to take a second and go over what they are. First, it starts with the owner. The owner is able to control the original access, and there's only one owner when you connect a drive. You're the owner. You have total access. So that's the top level of permission. After that, you can assign admins. Admins allow someone to invite other people to the same folder or drive. So for example, if I'm an owner on a drive that I want to invite someone else, if I make them an admin, they can also invite people to the same drive without my permission. So that's something you want to use very carefully, but you can give other people the ability to invite other people. That's the admin permissions. Next is edit. Edit allows you to create and transfer files and even delete. So if you think of it like Google Docs, an edit mode, edit permissions means they can go in and change sentences, right? They could delete paragraphs. So you want to make sure you are careful about who has edit access. Now today, which is October 20th or 21st, what's the date? It's October, what is today's date? 21st, gosh, October 21st. Okay, so as of today, October 21st, we cannot allow you to make a new folder just yet or delete them, but that's coming soon. So today, the folders are made on your hard drives the way you make them all the time. You just type in a folder, but we are going to allow you to make folders in Strada on other people's drives so that if I'm going to deliver assets to someone, I could just create a folder on their drive called October 21st from Michael and put the files in there. That's going to be really cool. So that's part of the edit permissions layer, is the ability to create folders and then also delete them. And deleting is really special because people say, oh no, you're letting people delete. Look, folks, we all have delete. We've been using delete. It's okay. But in Strada, if you delete, two things happen. One, you have to type the word to delete something. So that's good. And two, when we delete it, we don't delete it. We just put it in the trash. Because it's not a cloud and it's a drive on your computer, we can literally put the files in the trash of that computer. So in a catastrophic situation where someone types the word delete and puts the stuff in the trash, they can't empty the trash remotely. That's not possible. In fact, we are putting a restore button in Strada so that you could remotely restore files from the trash in a remote computer back onto the hard drive that they came from. That's how careful we are about delete. So don't worry about delete. We've got you covered, and we're making it really great. A lot of times you make a folder or you transfer a file that's wrong or you don't need it. You just want to delete it. You can delete that in Strada. That's coming very soon. That's part of the edit mode. If you're afraid of someone having that, then you want to make them a download permission. Download means you can give someone permission and they can view the file and they can transfer the file, but they cannot move or delete or create folders. So download and edit are very similar, except edit has that extra ability to create folders and delete files. Downloader does not. And the last one is view only. This is really cool because view only means what it sounds like. You can only see the file. They cannot download it. They cannot transfer it. They cannot move it. And they cannot make a folder or delete it. So all of these together are really, really powerful permissions. And so these permissions show you the control. Now, the permissions that are available on our unlimited plan are all of these. So if you want all of these and you want to control everything, you can control them per folder, per user. In fact, and I don't want this to be too confusing, you can change the permissions of the same person in different folders. So I could give Kyle, who will be on in a few minutes, I could give him view permission to one folder and edit permission to another folder. I can even do that in the same folder tree. So if you have folders with nested, you have parent and children folders, you could make the parent view so everything inside a folder is visible. And I could have download only active on one of the interior folders. That's really cool. That's combining multiple layers of permissions per user, per directory. It's really, really powerful. Sometimes people say, I'm afraid of Strada because I don't want people to see and access my entire drive. You don't have to. You can access it down to the folder level and down to the user level and now down to all these granular permissions. Now, if you're on the free plan, which we call reviewer, or you're on the basic plan, you only have edit and view. So you cannot edit and download. So you can give people download access and edit access, but you cannot gate view only, and you cannot make them admins. So the free and the basic plan are free and basic. So you have edit and download permissions. But if you really want to protect view only, you need to upgrade to the unlimited plan. Now, once you've upgraded to that plan, you control the permissions, which means it doesn't matter what the permissions or the plan of your collaborators are. In other words, if I have an unlimited plan, I can invite anybody, including free plans, and they can only see what I've invited them to. So the owner of the account controls the permission, not the receiver. And so when you sign up for Strada, you can be on the free plan and you can only see what a paid plan allows you to see. Let me say that again. If you're on the free plan or the basic plan, you can only see or download what a unlimited plan allows you to see. That's how the permissions work. It's based on the person who owns the plan, not the receiver, right? And that's how you control it. That's why you know when you have an unlimited plan, you can control all your permissions and there's no issues. So it's really, really exciting. Okay, I want to demonstrate this in real time and I want to demonstrate this in real practice. And so we have a really exciting way to demonstrate this. Kyle Chappell, I only met maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, but Kyle became a curious person about Strada. And he started trying it out and testing it. And over time, my brother Peter and I got to know Kyle a little bit. And I just want to say, Kyle is the epitome of talent. He really is. He's multi-hyphenate. He's a producer. He's a director. He's a cinematographer, but he also does the editing sometimes. He's media managing. I know he knows how to light and gap. He's got his own equipment, and he's really the creative resource that I think is represented by a lot of people out there. And I'm telling you, speaking from the heart, when you are multi-hyphenate, there's this saying that used to be out there. In fact, I have an old YouTube episode. I don't know, Margo, if you could find somewhere is an old YouTube episode. I think it's in the first 9 episodes where I talk about the phrase jack of all trades. It might be episode like 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know. It's a really old episode from like 2 years ago. But there's this phrase that says a jack of all trades is a master of none. I don't believe that at all. I think that's just like crap. It doesn't actually make sense. Or maybe it used to at some time, but it doesn't anymore. I really see that jacks of all trades can be masters of many things. And Kyle is one of those people that's exceptional at a lot of things. But one of Kyle's best attributes is curiosity. And what I like about him and respect a lot is that he's curious and he asks questions. And smart people ask questions and they challenge us. And that's what's making Strada great. People like Kyle, and there's many of you, but people that are like Kyle challenge us, they talk to us, they communicate, they give feedback, and our team takes that to heart. There's another gentleman, Tony. Tony, I was on a call with yesterday, and he's like, I hope I don't bother you too much on Discord. Are you kidding? My team knows you by name. The engineers know who Tony is. They know who Kyle is. They know who Clyde is. We are trying to connect with the community and get this right. So I want to invite Kyle onto the show here today. Kyle, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Kyle, first off, will you just give us a very brief just story, like who you are, where you live, and what got you into being the creative professional that you are?
Yeah, I live in Toronto. I have been a freelancer for almost 15 years now, and I didn't know the size of the hill I was trying to climb, thankfully, because when I started, I used to love doing video when I was a kid. So I got let go from the web design job and said, let me try this video thing. I didn't know, there was no formal training in it, completely self-taught, and said, let me start reaching out to places. And that's almost 15 years ago. So it's been a pretty crazy ride, but yeah, I've done everything from, I shoot and edit and direct my own stuff. I shoot for agencies and I shoot for broadcasters and whoever. There's a show I shot that's on Disney Plus. There's terrible, lawyers in ties on green screens, internal videos that no one will ever see.
Hey, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. It's all good. When we get paid to do what we love and exercise and learn, we're all winning. So tell us where you physically are today and why you're there.
I'm in Las Vegas, which I'm here a lot. It's one of my favorite places to travel. This trip right now, I'm on a 10-year wedding anniversary. So this one's not for work. I was here a month ago for work, but I'm on a wedding anniversary with my wife and my daughters. We renewed our vows yesterday.
Congrats on that. We are very thankful to have you on the show, taking time out of a trip, which is really, really a treat for us. But what I want to do, and I think this is really practical, is Kyle's in the MGM Grand of Las Vegas. And so he's literally beholden to hotel internet, which we all know is kind of the worst. So this is a good example of how collaboration can actually work when you don't have control over the situation. In fact, when we invited Kyle to be on the show, he said, well, next week I'm going to be in Vegas and maybe we don't want to do that because we can't control the network. And I said, no, that's exactly why I want to do this. That's real life. And I love, Kyle, I call this trapeze without a net. That's what we're about to do. It's trapeze without a net, because if this goes bad, everybody sees it live, but that's okay. We're used to that. So what I would like you to do, Kyle, is share your screen, and I'm going to have Kyle first. He's going to go to his Strada account here so we can see his Strada account. And Kyle, before we get started, tell me, you had a client story that just happened, and it was a real example where Strada came in handy. Can you take us through that experience?
Yeah, so yesterday I shoot for clients. I've shot with them for 5 or 6 years, and I guess they had some assets that were on a cloud somewhere. Anyways, they wanted something specific. I'm here not with all of my stuff, obviously. So I've literally one SSD drive with me, which is the one you're looking at here. And they asked if I had the file, but luckily I was smart enough that before I left, I have a Mac Mini at home. So my Mac Mini at home, I put it on and I connected. This is my main G-RAID drive, 20 terabytes, that I have almost everything. And if I go into their directory, this is 2020, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2021, 22, and so on, 23. So I was able to drill down to very specifically what they needed. And because this 20 terabyte G-RAID is sitting on my desk at home in Toronto, connected to a Mac Mini, I was able to pull up the file and I transferred it to myself to be able to do the tweak that they wanted on it and send it to them. This is going to spin for a second because it's a G-RAID, so it's going to.
That's all right. Now, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, that's a really powerful example, because we talked a second ago that it's going to take, it's a cloud access. You're not going to have 5 years of one client's material in a cloud, especially since they're not paying for it. So as his G-RAID spun up, because it was idle, he had to wait about 10 or 12 seconds for it to spin up. Now you can see everything on that 20 terabyte RAID.
Yep. And this kill that. This file, yeah, this wasn't the file I needed, but just as an example, this is an update that I did to an old file. But yeah, the fact that my clients can reach out to me, and just because I plugged this drive in at home, that it's almost like I'm still like, I have these project files. I have Resolve on this laptop. If I were to open Resolve and download the files, I can relink everything and I can actually just go right back to working on whatever it is. So the fact that I can have multiple drives connected to, this is an SSD, I can have multiple drives connected and have access on, I mean, not great internet. I can watch everything. I can download anything. If my clients need something, it's like, yeah, it gives me all of my files and I can use them and I can get them. And yeah, it's a lot of peace of mind for me, because I want to keep my clients happy. That's where business comes from.
That's right. That's how we keep it going. Now, Scott Roy on YouTube actually asks, are you able to share internal drives or is it limited to external? And Kyle's screen here is a really good example, because if you look closely, Scott, you can see that he has both on the MacBook Pro and the Mac Mini desktop, downloads, documents. Those are all directories that are available. So, Scott, the answer to your question is yes, you can connect local hard drives and any of your system file folders, but you can also connect virtual drives. So drives like Dropbox or LucidLink or Suite Studios also are in play. Even SMB mounts, such as an SMB connection that could be from Fiber Channel, or TCP/IP connections that use SMB, or something even like an URSA Ursa 12K camera has an SMB connection. Those are all in play. So it can be hard drives, it can be system disk folders, and it can be virtual files, virtual mounts like SMB or technologies like that. So what I would like you to do, Kyle, is first, I'd like you, since you're on hotel internet, I'd like you to invite me to something really huge that we could never access traditionally on hotel internet. What do you got?
This is a foam fest. It's like a 5K run, but there's big bouncy castles and lots of foam and everything. They put everywhere. So this is absolutely everything I shot. It's about an hour and a half. So I travel the course shooting this. So this is everything. They asked for everything as one piece. This is 104.5 gigabytes.
All right. So he's got a 104 gig ProRes file. That's an hour. How long was it? An hour and a half? Something like that. Yeah.
Hour 20.
Hour 20. Something like that.
20, yes.
Yeah. So what we're going to do first is I want you to go to the plus button in the upper right. And in this first test, I want you to invite me, Michael at strada.tech. And I want you to set me as a viewer only. So before he does that, if you look at the choices, he can select different of these different permissions. So give me viewer only. And now if he hits invite, I'm going to go to my screen. So when we look at my screen here, I'm going to switch to Chrome. If I now scroll down, we're going to see, let's see here, Kyle's MacBook Pro. And I can see here the August full export. And there is the August full export. So I have access. So he gave me that access. And if we look closely, I am just a viewer. So I can only see the file. And just like Kyle, it starts, I can play this back. And so I just want everyone to know, I am playing this file back off of Kyle's computer in the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And he just shared it with me for the first time. I did not get this before. And I can skip around. I can go to the end. I could even play this back at double speed. It looks like it's shot at like at super slow motion. So playing it back at
there's some frame rates in there.
Yeah, so playing it back at 4x makes it look more normal now, which is kind of funny. I didn't expect that, but there we can play this back at 4 times speed to make it look like people are actually moving correctly. And so if I actually go full screen, I can play this back, a ProRes file full screen. I don't need Jump Desktop. I don't need Parsec. He doesn't have to invite me to his computer to take the screen over. People are like, oh, we've had this for 10 years with desktop screen sharing. Kyle's not going to invite a client to screen share his computer. Come on, give me a break, right? He barely knows me. He's not going to give me access to his desktop. But with Strada, he can give me restricted access to just one file. That's all I can see is the August 2025 full export, and I only have view access. If I right click and try to download, nothing happens because I can't download this file, but I am able to view it, play it, and in a few months, I'll even be able to comment on it. In fact, if I hit play, and Kyle, on your end, if you hit play on yours, we're both playing back the same file at the same time, which also in itself is kind of crazy. We can see Kyle's screen. And if you hit the F as in Frank, Kyle, let's look at that full screen. So there's Kyle playing it back full screen. And if we go to me, I can play it back full screen. This is really cool technology that we can both do this concurrently and your computer's doing all the work, which is really something.
This would work if I gave you access. So like this Mac Mini here, this computer's in Toronto right now. I don't have any of these files with me, but I could share this folder with you and you could watch, like if I went to this drone folder, we could both off of my Mac Mini in Toronto watch this at the same time.
That's right.
How I think it works, right?
Yeah, that's the other power here is that because Kyle has multiple agents installed. So let me just get into that. Would you click on the agent icon for us, Kyle? So if he clicks on the agent, oh, we're probably not going to see it. So I'll have to click on mine. That's okay. I can click on mine. If you look right here on my screen, this is the agent. The agent is a little dashboard that allows you to decide what you're going to connect. That establishes the peer-to-peer connection. And so this is where the other person, I think it was Chris Roy or Scott Roy. Scott, you can connect any of these drives right here. These are the file system folders or any external drives here. So you can connect those. And when you connect them, those are available to share. What Kyle's done is he's got an agent running on several computers. So if we're back to his screen, he's got one running on his MacBook Pro where he is right now, but he's actually tapped into his Mac Mini back in Toronto. So you can see in the My Agent section in the left, he has two computers, a MacBook Pro and a Mac Mini. That means he can log into as many devices as he wants. And if he has multiple devices, it's completely fine to log in and they all become shareable. So he's accessing remote files from his remote hotel, and he can share those with me remotely. And he could literally do this on the road, which is super powerful. That's pretty footage too, actually. That's really beautiful, actually. I like it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I would like you to give me access to a file that I can be enabled as a downloader. So why don't you give me access to this? So what do we got here? GM, cool.
This is the gold medal game. Four Nations says I'm on the bench with the reporter for broadcasters. This is Team Canada versus USA. This was in Boston.
Nice.
So this is 142 megs. This is just a clip off the camera. This would have gone out live off a live view on my back, but obviously I hit record on the camera as a backup.
Yep. Got it.
I can add you here as you said downloader for this one.
Yeah. So we'll make this an option for me to download so he can add me back in. Now as a downloader, I am able to get this. So let's get that. So now we'll go to my screen. And what happens now is if I refresh, I'm going to see a new directory appear, which is the gold medal final. Who ended up winning in this, Kyle?
Canada.
Of course. Of course. I set myself up for that. I knew that would be the answer. So that's okay. I'm fine with it, by the way. This is baseball time in Los Angeles. So the Dodgers are doing their jobs. But what we're looking at here is the same video that Kyle was just showing. So look, we're on my screen. We're seeing exactly what Kyle just showed us. Looks great. I'm playing it off his computer in freaking, the MGM Grand in Vegas. But now what I could do is I have this option to transfer it. If I select transfer, now I am going to establish a peer-to-peer connection and move it. So for fun, I'm just going to put this on my desktop to make it really easy. So if I hit transfer here, I can put my desktop open and we'll look right here and we're going to see a transfer begin. And so that's part of what's happening. So we're initiating the transfer now, and we're going to see what happens with the MGM internet here to get that transfer to actually kick off. What we have in the upper right is both. I can see my jobs, which are jobs that can be transferred, and then I can do others' jobs as well. So I can have both. Now, let's see here, Kyle, we're not getting a connection, which is interesting. Of course, we didn't try this ahead of time, which is how we do things here. So I just want to give the MGM Grand a chance to see if it's going to behave here as it tries to initiate peer-to-peer. It's possible it's not going to let us have a peer-to-peer connection. That may be the limitation of that. So if it's not, it did not like that. So I'm going to try an alternative option to download. So if I download, I'll go to my ProGrade drive. Let's see if it's going to let us do that. I don't know if it will, but we're going to give it a shot. I'll go to my ProGrade here, and it is starting to download. So it did. So the MGM Grand has a firewall. So this is good to learn, Kyle. It looks like the MGM Grand has a firewall that's blocking our ability to do a peer-to-peer transfer. So as a backup, I can switch to a traditional download, which actually goes through a relay system. The relay is going to slow the download down because this is going to go through a relay that's on the East Coast and then come back to me. But it shows that if there is a firewall blocking a peer-to-peer connection, there is a backup solution to be able to make that work. So that's what's happening right now. We tried to establish the peer-to-peer. We didn't test this ahead of time, which is part of the fun. And now we're doing the transfer now. So what's cool, if we go to Kyle's screen, if you click on the upper right jobs panel and you click on others jobs and we wait 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, here we will see the transfer. So it's actually going, there it is, it caught up. So Kyle can see that I'm moving a file off his computer. This is really powerful because I initiated a transfer off of Kyle's computer. He could be working, editing, producing, doing anything he wants. And this allows him to know that there's activity on his machine. And so this is an important background experience that's being demonstrated here as we transfer this file. So
these transfers here that you're seeing down here. So I shot for a remote producer. I believe I shot in Toronto. They were somewhere in the States. And I shared everything with Strada. And so you see Benjamin's MacBook Pro, transfer complete and verified, transfer complete and verified. I know he started moving stuff. The fact that I saw these transfer completes come up was like, great. Usually I just think, okay, no news is no news. They're not complaining that they don't have the files. I just assume they have them. But the fact that it gave me the feedback right away, it's like, oh, I saw what he, like, yes, I know he downloaded. So it's like, great. It's like, I don't have to bug him at all. Like, they initiated the transfer, they did it, and I could see it happen. I'm like, perfect. That's,
yeah. And if
very helpful on my side.
It's very, yeah, this is good. And it's only going to get better. I'll show you something in a second, but if you go to your jobs, the other tab, you can see these are all the things Kyle initiated. So the little C icon is always him, because on your jobs, it's anything you moved. So that's a record of your activity separate from others' jobs. So you can see those files that you moved from your Mac Mini. You can actually see those happening in this process. Yeah, so there's all that there. So while he's doing that final transfer, check this out. I'm going to go to, what do I want to do here? I want to switch to this, and I want to show you my phone here. So what we're going to do is pull my phone over here because I want it to look nice. There we go. So now we're on my phone, and while that transfer is happening, check this out. This is Strada on iOS. You can see it right there on the left. If I click that and I scroll down, I see Kyle's MacBook Pro. I can open that up. Here's the GM final. And now we can log in and actually see the GM final. Now, it's probably going to take a second because Kyle's computer is transferring right now everything, which is going to eat a little bit of the bandwidth that we're doing. But I think maybe, let me, just to be safe, I'm going to restart this here. Go to Kyle's laptop. GM final. It should still show it to me. There it is. So if I click on this, we can request the player, and while it's transferring, we'll get the playback right here. So there it is. So now I'm playing back the file on my phone that is literally being transferred. Where is it? It's being transferred right here to my desktop. So we can see all these things happening kind of at the same time, which is pretty crazy when you think about all that's happening here. So yeah, this is really cool. So there is the file playing back. This is the file transferring to my computer. And while we're at it, I could go back to Kyle's desktop, and I could look at that other thing that he sent us. Remember, there was 100 gigabyte ProRes file that was that hour-and-a-half long video. That should pop up here in a second if I give it a second, but I'm impatient. So there we go. So here is the foam stuff that we saw earlier, and I can hit play on that while we're transferring. So that's accessible as well. So we're able to see all of the activity on Kyle's directories here. So it's really powerful that on my phone, I have access to everything that's being sent here. So we're making this hard on ourselves by using the download while we're doing all this, Kyle, but it's working. And that's pretty cool given we're doing this all off of your hotel internet. My internet really isn't a player in this experience that much because I'm just consuming your material. But while that's happening, why don't I do something here? I'm going to go to the Thunder Bay, and I'm going to go to a Friends movie called Sovereign. and I've got a ProRes file here. And if you look here, this ProRes file is 313 gigabytes. So Kyle, what's your email again, Kyle?
Kyle at Chappell Digital. I can put it up.
I got it.
Okay, cool.
.com.
ChappellDigital.com. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. 2 P's, 2 L's, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So now I've invited Kyle to a 313 gigabyte feature film. So if we go back to your, if you refresh your browser while that's going, you'll be able to see, let's see here. There we go. That's it. There it is right there. Very good. You click on that. ProRes. Yep. There's the ProRes from an M4 studio that I have access to. Give it a second to launch that player and we'll be able to see. There you go. And now you could, we always got to pull the sound down, but now he's got a 2-hour movie that is, there's a great movie called Sovereign that just came out, crushed it at Toronto. It's really, really good. And you could just click through the movie and it'll play back everything right there. So he's got access to the film and he doesn't have to upload 313 gigabytes. So it's really, really significant to be able to do that. And there you go, right at the end credits. That's the fast way to go. But you can click around, you can be hard with it, and that's really powerful. So while this transfer is happening, Kyle can still be working with the other assets. And so Kyle and I just shared with each other 2 huge files. He sent me a 100 gigabyte file. I sent him a 300 gigabyte file, and we're able to access and transfer. But we did run into that issue where a firewall was preventing a peer-to-peer transfer. So we're doing a download. Scott Roy asks, how many users can play back the same file at the same time? That is an excellent question, Scott. Check this out. We actually, on our website, there is a button called Workflow. And then in Workflow, there's a button called Configure. And if we look at that, I did some bench tests here. The tests are with a ProRes 4K XQ file. So you can see this is the test. 960 megabits per second. So essentially 1,000 megabits per second. And here is the exact answer to your question. How many streams can Strada play back at the same time of ProRes 4K XQ? And the answer is based on your Apple Silicon. Now, while this also works on Windows, there are more configurations and Windows typically cannot do as many. But Apple has been investing such great tech into their M series chips. These are so powerful that the M3 Studio Ultra can do 20 streams of ProRes 4K to 20 different people, and it could be 20 different files. Margot, if you can put in the chat a link to our episode in which we demonstrated this, Scott, there is an episode where we learned this live. We actually did it live with people live. You should really check this out. It's kind of funny to watch. It's really cool. And it shows the power of Apple Silicon. I can't remember if that's like episode 41, Margot, maybe, but she'll put in the chat the episode. And if you know what it is, Margot, put it so I can repeat it audibly. But we basically can show you here all of the power. So on an M4 MacBook Air, that's a pretty cheap, small computer. That can do 3 streams of ProRes 4K in Strada. You could have 3 people playing back different files or the same file at exactly the same time. And then everything else falls in the middle. I have an M3 Max, so I can do 8. So my computer can serve 8 simultaneous people. I never need more than 8 people to be accessing files that are connected to my computer. I don't need more than 8. That's a lot of concurrent interactions. Margot says it's episode 44. So on the Strada Tech YouTube, it's episode 44, which is called the Ultimate Apple Ultra Studio Test. So definitely take a look at that episode. It's a really good episode. Kyle, what computer are you running yours on?
It's a M3 Max.
Okay. Similar to me. So Kyle and I can both do 8 streams of ProRes 4K at the same time, which is why he's able to be doing all this stuff remotely. So right now, my computer is sending you that file, but the one that's on can do 20 streams, which is pretty cool. So Kyle, before we let you go, let's just recap here. You connected a big file to me. I connected a big file to you, and then we basically connected files to each other and then shared those results. So let's see here. And then you sent me the file, and here I have the actual file downloaded on my screen. So we were successful in doing that download. That wasn't a peer-to-peer transfer. It was a download because of the firewall at the MGM Grand that wouldn't let us get the peer-to-peer connection. But that's why we have the download. You want to try transfers. Transfers are better. They're faster. They're more stable. They're more reliable, and you can do bigger files. Download is an emergency in a case like now where a peer-to-peer transfer wasn't possible on the hotel Wi-Fi Kyle's on, but that's why we test. But I have the file right here. I transferred it right to my location and was able to make it work. So that's really exceptional. Then Kyle was able to send me a file to download. I sent him back a reference of a 300 gigabyte file to access. And I was able to show that all working on my phone as well. So this is really a lot of cool technology coming together. And so, Kyle, before we let you go, could you tell us, just be honest, like really be honest, like tell us where you see Strada serving you in your multi-hyphenate way of workflow?
I just see it as one of those things that once you have it, you're like, I can't believe this didn't exist before. And why wasn't it always a thing? You and I had a conversation a month or two ago. I was again back here in Vegas, but I was here for NHL Media Tour, and I had triathlon photography happening back in Toronto. So I had to get a colleague to do it for me. So he took a little over 32,000 photos. The problem with the photos is you don't want to go through 32,000 photos, and I've sorted out all the post workflow and all that kind of stuff. So he finished shooting on Sunday, and I needed to deliver all the photos by Tuesday. For him to upload everything and then me download everything I was across the street at the Waldorf for it, was going to take forever. So, and that was the first time I put my nerves on the line with Strada, because I was like, I need this to work because I need to deliver this gallery. And we're talking 32,000 photos because I can't teach him the post in time. And it worked. I did an agent-to-agent transfer. I got all 32,000 photos when I woke up in the morning. I had them, and I did all the posts and delivered the galleries. And it's kind of one of those things that it's like, if I didn't have it, I don't know how I would have done it. Now that I do have it, it's like, I can't imagine not having it. The fact that I can go on and drill down to my hard drives at home, and I don't have to bring G-RAIDs with me, and I don't have to bring 15 of these little SSDs because maybe a client will ask for this, or maybe a client will ask for that, or maybe I'll need this. I plug them in before. I mean, they're always plugged in at home now, but yeah, I leave them plugged in, and it's like I have access to everything. And even like when I show up on a shoot, and it's like if I string together 4 or 5 shoot days and I'm reusing the same cards, it's like I know I backed them up. I can go on my phone and I can literally watch the last shot that I did yesterday on my phone, and I'm like, okay, yes, I'm sure I have it, even though I'm sure, and I've never wiped a card that I shouldn't have wiped. It's just that extra, like, I'm watching back my last shot from yesterday on my phone right before I pushed format on my camera the next day.
Absolutely. Well, those are great examples of how to use it. I'm glad you're using it, and I appreciate you and customers like you pushing us to get it right. Where Kyle was doing 32,000 photos 8 weeks ago, the product has come so far from them. We didn't have mobile. We didn't have permissions. We didn't have download only. We didn't have a lot of the technology. We didn't even have others' jobs. You couldn't even see the transfer of other people. Like, none of that existed, and we're getting better and better. Yeah, all of that. And this is all from feedback from people like you, Kyle. So I want to thank you for helping us today. Thank you for being a user. Thank you for your feedback and for pushing us. Keep doing it. We love having you. Have a great honeymoon 2.0 in Vegas. So cool.
Really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So as we finish up, folks, that was wonderful to have Kyle. Very, very, very wonderful person. I want to make a couple announcements. One, if you're in New York or the New York tri-state area, go to NAB New York. It's coming up this week, And my brother Peter will be at the Facilis booth. Facilis is the first integration of Strada in a hardware appliance. Facilis makes some of the best large infrastructure, NASs and SAN infrastructures for huge storage. We're talking the petabyte space. If you have a Facilis, you can now connect Strada onto your Facilis directly in a headless configuration. So your Facilis itself is accessible on your phone automatically, and that's available today. So you can check that out. But Peter will be in the Facilis booth also demonstrating all the other connections to Strada, which is really, really awesome. Myron asks, will the Strada iOS app eventually use the accelerometer on the phone so you can rotate the device from vertical to landscape for viewing? Yes. In fact, that will come next week, Myron. Next week, we will be able to have rotation, which is full screen mode. We'll also be delivering an improved quality in the video player. The player quality will go up and the player will launch faster. So all that's coming next week. Very exciting. Scott asks, how would your AI enhanced metadata features be incorporated into this peer-to-peer setup? Well, Scott, we are going to be doing that, and I have that on the Vision page on the website. If I go to the Vision page and we scroll down to here, we can see AI enhanced metadata. This is our Vision page, which means it's our future. Our goal is in the second half of 2026 to be integrating our transcription model, our translation model, our summaries model, so you can summarize all your material, and our face detection, logo detection, emotions, and labels. All of that will be activated in the second half of 2026 so that you can then search. Now, the beauty of this is twofold. One, all of the analytics is done on your computers, so you don't have to upload anything to a cloud. All the other companies that are doing AI analytics, you got to upload files to them. It sucks. It's totally the wrong architecture. With Strada, you analyze at the edge. And by the way, the new M5 that just got announced is perfect for this. Buy an M5 for next year if you plan on doing a lot of AI analytics. It is purpose-built for AI analytics. It's amazing. And then the second benefit is your search in Strada will search your entire Strada network, which means I can search for assets with faces or locations or words on your hard drive. That's crazy. We actually filed a 100-page patent on how that technology works, because now I'll be able to search your hard drive through the Strada network, through analytics that happen on different people's computers, and none of it's in a cloud. Think about it. If you believe in that, Scott, we need you to sign up for the app and become a user, because we can't build any of this without users, which brings me to the end here, our pricing models. We can't make Strada better or faster without people signing up for it. So we need you to be like Kyle, sign up, get on the plan, and start using it. Work it into your workflows. You will find ways to work it. And you heard Kyle. He said, I don't know how to work without it. That's the kind of technology Strada is. At first, you're like, I don't know, it's too good to be true. Second, you're like, okay, I think I could do it here and there. And third, it's like, how did I get along without it? That's the Strada workflow. You can sign up for free, and a free plan is available. It allows you to have unlimited viewing. You can connect unlimited amounts of files. All that's available, but you can transfer up to 15 gigabytes of files per month for free. That's on us. It's kind of an emergency transfer. If you're only transferring proxy files, then you might only need the basic plan, which gives you 250 gigabytes a month of transferring. That can be peer-to-peer transfers with anyone. You can transfer basic to review. Totally fine. That's paid to free. 250 gigs. And if you have to move a lot of big files, then just go unlimited. If you think of a product like Massive or Signiant, you're going to pay over $100 to move a terabyte of media. But with Strada, $24, you could move 24 terabytes of media. We don't care. Unlimited means unlimited. You can transfer as much as you want for $24, and you can invite as many people as you want. Plus, you get the view-only permissions, and you also get the admin permissions. So you get enhanced permissions controls, and you get unlimited everything. So these are your plans. If you're a big team of 10 people or more, you can buy in bulk, and you would reach out to me, and we'll set up an account where you can get 10 licenses or 20 licenses. Those licenses are transferable, which means if you have people swapping out of your 10 licenses, you can change those licenses out as you want. You don't have to buy more. You can swap people out. So all of this is the picture of the Strada payment system. If you want to pay monthly, it goes up a little bit, about 30%. You can pay annually, save some money there. And so we want to invite you to take a risk on us. Be an early adopter. We are giving people early adopter pricing because these prices will likely go up in the near future. And so we want to reward you as an early adopter to get on the pricing now. And we're going to be adding more features. And as we add more features, we want this to work. Now, Shane Walker says, will we ever be able to mount a network drive? It works right now, 100%. Check this out. This is my LucidLink file system. That is similar to a network drive. I could also mount like an SMB, like if I did Command K and I wanted to connect to a network drive, I can do that. All of these work. They are all in play and they work. In fact, if you look at my agent, you see this Strada right there, Shane, that Strada right there is my LucidLink file system. And just to show you how powerful it is, if I open up my phone right here and I go to my computer, Strada, this is my LucidLink file system, which is very similar to the drives that you're talking about. And I can click on Mob Scene here, and I'm about to load all these files, and here they come downloading. So these are files from LucidLink that I can see from my phone, which is really, really cool. So really, really powerful stuff here. I don't know why the thumbs didn't draw. They should draw, but maybe we're working on it right now. But anyway, that's my LucidLink file system accessible as well. So as we wrap up here, we did pricing. And so the last thing, I want to make sure that you all know you should join our Discord. Margot can put a link to our Discord. Please join the Discord. That's where you can get a hold of us, tech support, feedback, suggestions, bugs, and announcements. When we release features, we give you that access. And then lastly, if you want to schedule a one-on-one demo, I do these every day. Please schedule a one-on-one demo. We should have a link where you can schedule a demo, and we're easy to get a hold of. And we do demonstrations, we do onboarding, we answer questions, we go over workflow, we get you set up with the product, with your team. Sometimes we have like 5 or 6 people. We get them all working together. It's our pleasure to make this work. We love doing it. So we're really, really excited to make this work, and we look forward to doing this with you. So I am available at all times, michael@strada.tech. Please let me know if I can help you. And once again, a big thanks to Kyle Chappell for joining us today. Just an amazing, talented individual, truly multi-hyphenate Renaissance man. He does it all. And I'm just thankful that he's been able to find Strada in his workflow and start using it on a daily basis. Be like Kyle and get on Strada. We're looking forward to it. I hope to see you all on Discord, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.